The Guardian has an incredible article out by an anonymous worker, and it highlights the incredible level of income inequality that we're dealing with in America. So I want to read you a portion of it so you get a sense of this woman's struggle. She says, quote, "I'm a single mother, and I struggle to support my son on the $10.33 an hour I make at one of the most exclusive clubs in America, the U.S. Senate. I'm a cashier employed by the British-owned contractor that runs the cafeterias in the Senate office buildings. But even though I serve some of the wealthiest and most powerful people in the world, I can't afford to buy my son school supplies or clothes. After paying all my bills and providing for the needs of my son, I'm $600 in the hole every month. On top of the low wages, I get a layoff notice every time the U.S. Senate goes on recess, which means that I don't get a paycheck for 8 to 10 weeks a year. When I realized that I couldn't survive on what I was making at the Senate, I made a difficult decision. Faced with the eviction notices and unpaid bills, I decided to dance at a strip club a few nights a week to earn extra pay. It was the only job I could find that let me work a flexible schedule and earn a living wage." It's an absolutely heartbreaking article and a heartbreaking story. She goes on to explain, she's like, I don't even want to be a stripper. Okay, and I'm basically forced into that situation because of the economic reality that I live on a daily basis. And I thought this story is so illuminating because it puts into perspective the real wealth gap in America. So I think we all tend to look at other people when they're going about their business and doing their job, and everybody thinks like, well, I mean, I might be in debt, I might not have my shit together, but it looks like everybody else here's got their shit together. Apparently I'm the only one struggling. No, it's not true. A lot of people, a lot of people are struggling. You think these dipshits who are the senators who are in the cafeteria, do you think that they look at the workers and they know their struggle? No, they probably think, they're probably unionized, they get fantastic benefits, and they're lazy. And they're living in 2,000 square foot homes with pools in the backyard, and they belong to country clubs too. I'm not kidding. These people probably think like this. Or they, at the very least, do not think that the people serving them are struggling. But here's the thing, they are. And who's responsible for that? You are. I've said it, man. It's not a debatable issue as to whether or not the minimum wage should be a living wage. Because there are always going to be people who end up working a minimum wage job and they can't move up the ladder for a variety of reasons. So then the question becomes, okay, do we pay those people enough to survive, or do we just say as a society, fuck you if you're on that bottom rung of the ladder and there's nowhere else to go? See, I always found it hilarious when people said, well, you just work your way up. So take that reasoning to its logical conclusion. Because they always say, it can work for anybody. Just work your way up. It can work for everybody. But if everybody got the promotion, there would be nobody left to do those jobs. And then you'd be begging for people to go back to do those jobs. So you don't even want everybody to get a promotion. You know the society can't function if everybody gets that promotion. So what you want to do is you want to have people work those low-wage jobs, and you pay them not enough money to survive. Well, fuck you for that. You're wrong, and you're in favor of wage slavery. They should do it right now. The Democrats should make a tremendous deal out of this. You should say minimum wage is a living wage. We're going to tie it to a living wage in every single state, and we're going to chain it to inflation. And if you're against this, you're un-American and you hate poor people. You hate working people. I would drive this campaign home so hard that the Republicans wouldn't know what the fuck hit them, and if they opposed it, they would lose in a landslide in the next election. But of course, the Democrats won't do that because the Democrats are also bought off by the corporations, and the corporations are the only group in society that are against a minimum wage hike. Even a majority of Republicans are for a minimum wage hike. Over 80% of the population is for a minimum wage hike. Essentially, this is a debate that's settled when it comes to the actual people of America. But since we live in a corporatocracy and since we live in an oligarchy, they really call the shots, and they're the only group that doesn't want a minimum wage hike, so they pay off their bitch boys in Congress to get served by the peasant class that's permanently stuck on that bottom rung of the ladder, which they can't even survive on, and they're forced to go become strippers. This system is rotting from within, and we need to change it.